Alright guys, the truth is, I was gonna do this video anyway, but since Wes Craven is gone, I'm definitely gonna do it now. So let's get started. We are going to count down from worst to best, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, starting with number 9. And that's gonna be the remake, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. I hated that one because all they did was focus on Freddy being a pedophile, and it just made the movie depressing and really uncomfortable to watch. Because I came to see Freddy. I didn't come to see a story about a pedophile. If I wanted that, I could easily watch the Lifetime Network for women. Next at number 8, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I hated this movie because Freddy only killed 2 people, and I hated the fact that it really wasn't connected to the other movies. It was a standalone, so basically it was a pointless movie, and they just made it for the hell of making it. Next at number 7, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. This movie seemed to have some homosexual subtext. Now, I don't have a problem with homosexual people, but look, don't overdo it. If you're gay, that's fine. It doesn't mean you have to put it in a movie. And besides, it was just a bad movie anyway. There was no Nightmare on Elm Street theme, and it seemed like the girl Lisa was more of a fucking man than Jesse was. I thought he was the man in the relationship, but clearly she was, because she was the one always supporting him. So Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge makes it at number 7. I know all the Freddy fans and Jason fans wanted to see Freddy and Jason duke it out, but unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned, Freddy vs. Jason is not a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. It is a crossover. So, I'm going to have to give it a low ranking and rank it at number 6. I'm sorry, but it is not a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. It is its own movie. It is a crossover, in my opinion. So, it goes at number 6. Counting down at number 5, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. I hated this movie because by this point, Alice, even though she tried to save her child, she had become obsessed with Freddy Krueger. It's all she fucking talked about. Plus, I hated the fact that they killed Dan. He was a cool character, and that character named Yvonne, she was a bitch. I really didn't like her. I wanted Freddy to kill her. And I normally stick up for the black characters, but she was a bitch. I actually wanted Freddy to kill her. When he didn't kill her, I was mad about that. I'm not talking about the actual actress. I didn't like the character, not the actual person. Just to clear that up. But the character was a bitch. So, I don't like Part 5. Next, number 4. By the way, before I count down at number 4, the reason why I didn't like Yvonne is because she never believed anything that Alice told her. This is supposed to be your best friend. Why the fuck would she lie to you? And don't you find it a little strange that all your friends are dying in inexplicable, mysterious circumstances? That doesn't strike you as weird at all? I didn't like her. Not only was she a bitch, but she was dumb. I hated Yvonne. I hated her. That's why I gave this one a low ranking as well. Next at number 4, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. It was a good movie, don't get me wrong, but Freddy killing a bunch of kids at an asylum? What the fuck is that? See, it's these little things that mess up the whole movie for me. What the fuck does an asylum have to do with the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise? That's more like Halloween's thing. It just didn't look right. I didn't like that whole asylum thing. And by the way, I know that Halloween didn't invent the term boogeyman, but it's clear that when they kept saying it in Nightmare 3, they ripped it off from Halloween. Listen, stop being lazy and come up with your own nickname for Freddy Krueger. The Boogeyman, the Boogeyman. No, you got that shit from Michael Myers. Yeah, I don't mean to come off like an asshole, but that was like really lazy writing, because they basically took that from Michael Myers and gave it to Freddy Krueger. So that was really lazy writing. I don't mean to be rude, but it was. Going on to number 3. I actually like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. So I'm gonna put that at number 3 because it felt more like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. They weren't in that asylum anymore, which was the dumbest idea for the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Besides the whole pedophilia thing, it felt almost similar to part 1. So I'm going to put that at number 3 because I really liked it. At number 2, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. I know a lot of people hate this movie, but I like it, and let me tell you why. First of all, the idea of them having a Nightmare on Elm Street movie in the 90s. I don't know why, but that idea is just cool to me. It was in the 90s, and they were still making them. I like that. I like Freddy's sense of humor. I like how he kept throwing the boy down the hill. He just kept rolling. He was like, whoa! Whoa! And he was rolling down the hill. That was funny. It was funny when he said, lend me your ear. And he was like, nice hearing from you, Carlos. And when he said, you think I'm your daddy? Wrong! I enjoyed that. I like Freddy's sense of humor. It was funny to me. So Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare is at number 2. Fuck the haters. And at number 1, of course, the original, A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. And why not? It introduces Freddy Krueger, and he's much more creepier in this movie. I mean, we always assumed that he was a little perv, you know, like how he used to lick his tongue out and everything, but it was just a really creepy movie. And Robert Englund did a good job for it to be his first time playing Freddy, and that's why it made number 1. Thank you for watching my ranking of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and rest in peace to Mr. Wes Craven. Thank you for giving me nightmares, even though technically I killed Freddy in one of my dreams, but we'll talk about that later. Rest in peace, Mr. Craven. I approve this message.